So, hey, I'm Nefertari. I'm one of the curators of TEDxIntrepidAveED, and with me today is Gary Johnson III, the visionary behind TEDxIntrepidAveED Studio. And with us as well is our event host, Karema Akhila. Akhila like the bee. So, Akhila, tell us where you're from.
Hello, everyone. It is my pleasure to be with you. Thank you so much for having me. I am originally from the best city in the entire world. I'm from Philadelphia. I am from the Mount Airy section of Philadelphia. And also, I spent a great deal of time in West Philly. That's where both of my grandmothers lived and my church. And so West Philly is also an integral part of who I am.
So we want to make sure that the community that we're bringing in to experience TEDx Intrepid Ed knows where everyone's from and kind of the work that they do. So tell us about your work and what you love about it.
My work. That's a loaded question. I used to think that my work was to be a teacher. And then as time went on, I realized, okay, so I'm teaching children how to read, I'm teaching them math, but for what reason? And as I thought about it and examined myself and what's most important to me, I realized that my work and my greatest endeavor is to teach people how to find their purpose and then how to walk in that powerfully. So that is who I am. And then that is expressed in a couple of different ways. Number one, with the creation of the Genius School. The Genius School is a decentralized, democratic, self-directed learning community that invites, not mandates, but invites students every day to figure out what their purpose is, and to do so by creating what I call good experiences, things that they initiate, that they enjoy, would do well, and are proud of. And so that's part of what I do for children in the K through 12 space. And then the second layer of what I do for adults is the same thing. So I curated a 2-day intensive workshop called Purpose and Power, where we do the very same thing. We take the raw material of a person's good experiences, and then we share in a collective group what they had to do in order to create these good experiences. And then from that, we can begin to connect the dots to see a person's strengths. And then once we know what you're good at, then it's just a matter of, well, what do you care about? And who do you desire to serve? And where do you want to apply your strengths? And so that's who I am. That's what I do. I see it as a shame to be 40, 50, 60 years old and not know what you're good at. Because either one, no one ever asked you, or two, you never really had an opportunity to figure it out.
So that leads me into the next question about your personal philosophy. What is it?
My personal philosophy is comprised of two parts. My husband, my late husband, battled leukemia for a year. And during that time and his passing, I saw a man who was so full of life, so full of dreams, so full of things that he wanted to do. And I made it my business after his death to, number one, make every single day a party. So number one, have a good time. Have a good time, laugh, have fun. And then number two, and this is my philosophy that I live by, especially when I'm faced with a challenge, I ask myself, how can I say yes? What would I need to do? And most importantly, who would I need to be in order to say yes to this idea? So the two go hand in hand. You know, I bring my own party, because you might not know, theirs might not be fun. So I bring my own party to every venture. And then I ask myself, how can I say yes to this fun, amazing, adventurous thing that I want to do?
It's amazing. So we have a number of great speakers who are going to share at our May 15th event. But I want to know from you, what's your favorite TED Talk and why?
My favorite TED Talk is by a man named John Bennett. It was TED Talk TEDx Manhattan Beach. And the title of his talk was Why Math Instruction is Unnecessary. And it's my favorite TED Talk because, number one, I remember thinking the same thing growing up when I was in high school. Like, when am I ever going to use this? Number two, I remember thinking the same thing as a teacher when I'm instructing children in math, thinking, when are they ever going to use this? And then now as a mom of my 6 kids, I can see where some of my children who desire to be engineers, by all means, they will use this, and for some they won't. So I love that TED Talk because John Bennett lays out very, very clearly the difference between teaching higher level math, algebra 1, 2, and higher math, just for the purposes of teaching it, versus looking at those who will actually use it for whatever career they're going to go into, and then understanding what it is that we're really after. We are really after creating a populace that can think, that can reason. So if a person has identified a career where they will not ever use this higher level math, how about instead we introduce them to logic? We introduce them to critical thinking, problem solving, games and puzzles that they can use during the middle school and high school years. So TEDx Manhattan Beach, John Bennett, Why Math Instruction is Unnecessary is my favorite TED Talk. And he was a middle school and high school math teacher. Who better to debunk the idea?
Absolutely. So we'll have to give Mr. Bennett a shout out. If you've received this message, we'd like to invite you to join us May 15th for our inaugural TEDxIntrepidAveED event. I promise you it'll be experienced. Until next time, have a good one.